Good morning, Matt from New York Solar Maintenance here. I just arrived at a system inspection. This house has microinverters, about 20 panels on the roof, 6 of which are being hit by this morning's sun. And I want to show you some of the tools we have and the way we start our inspection. So the first thing I go and take a look at, I've taken a look at where the system is and how the light's hitting it. And now I want to get a sense of what the equipment on site looks like, maybe what the visual condition is, and do a preliminary check to sort of give me a big picture of how the system's doing. So what we can see here first and foremost is the AC electricity starts and ends, coming down from the system at the AC disconnect. So that's powered up. I've opened that up. I checked the fuse for continuity using my volt and amp meter. The fuses are good. In this case, the power then flows to the meter. And the reason we're at this particular job is because this meter was showing a bunch of garbled characters. We've actually just replaced that meter and it's starting to register its first kilowatt hours. So while that is powering up and getting acclimated, I've taken a look at the rest of the system. We have the breakers, which combine the different strings, the different panels as they're placed across the house into one electrical load. And the breakers are all in good condition too. I've checked those. I don't have all my tools here with me to show you. Maybe I'll show you a little bit later, but I'll show you 2 things that give me a good sense of how the system's performing right off the bat while we're here. The first is a volt and amp meter. This one is a Fluke meter that's had a lot of use over the years, but this will tell me how much energy is coming out of the system when I measure it at the meter. You know, what's the total power coming out in terms of the voltage, in this case 208, and the amperage, in this case 4 amps. But that reading doesn't really give us a sense of how the system is doing. That just tells us how much energy it's producing. Of course, we want to understand how much energy is it producing relative to how much energy it should be producing. And in that case, we use this, which is an irradiance meter. This has a little solar cell on the top, and we point it towards the sun to match the angle of light, and it will tell us how many watts per meter squared are hitting the solar panels. That's an important measure because it allows us to derate for how sunny it is based on what the panel's rated for. So in this case, it told me there's 775 watts per meter squared hitting the solar panel, which means that the panels are getting about 75% of the electricity they're designed to put out in full light. So about 75% full power. When I multiplied the wattage of the modules times the amount of light that's hitting them, I got 800 watts. That's what I would expect the system to be producing. That's when I came down and used my amp and voltage meter to measure the voltage, 208, and to check the amperage, 4 amps. 208 times 4 is about 800 watts. So that tells me the modules that I measured in the sun are working perfectly. Of course, we're going to go deeper in this inspection. We're going to do a visual inspection. We're going to check the way this is connected in the house. We're going to check the monitoring platform. But just wanted to show you how we start our inspection. You know, this one's off to a good start. I can tell things are probably working pretty well. Tune in for the next video. Thanks again. That's Matt from New York Solar Maintenance.